I'm going live without the music, haven't I?
Immortal Beats.
Yo, what's going on, people? It's SVD on the mic. Welcome to Community Corner episode 12. Hope you guys are good out there. Hope everyone's staying away from the rain and just inside and warm and that. Welcome to episode 12 of the Community Corner. Shout outs to you guys out there. Today will be a good one. We have BlessyVF on today's episode, which we'll be getting into shortly, talking all things Virtua Fighter. But before we start, let me just before we start, my apologies. It's just been a bit of a mad day today. I'm not even gonna lie, but you know, we keep moving, man. We keep moving. So yeah, before I start, we have a few announcements. We've got Kings of the World coming up next week, CPT event. Sign ups close tomorrow, etc. etc. Sign up for that. If you're a Street Fighter player, should be fun. Other than that, we also have where are we? Small matter of an event called Versus Fighting, and I've put it in the wrong thing. This is a great start. But yeah, just bear with me. 2 seconds. Let me stop sharing that now. So basically, decides to come up. I say, hope you guys all right out there. Hope everyone's doing good. But yes, I say there was a small thing that happened over the weekend. We announced that Versus Fighting is coming back 15th to the 17th of August next year. Yes, we are doing it all again. Yes, it's a bit wild, but let's go with it. Let's go. Yeah, so Versus Fighting is back. There'll be more details coming soon. If you want to know details, ask Justin in the chat. But for now, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna get into today's episode. Let me just find thing. I'm all over the place. As I say, it's been a bit of a mad day, but we keep moving. But for now, enough about me. We're gonna get our guest on for today. Oh, I need to move that. Blessy, how are you, sir?
I'm not too bad, thank you. How about yourself?
Good. I'm all right, man. All right. As I say, it's been a bit of an interesting day, shall we say? But you know, we keep it moving. But again, thank you for joining us today on Community Corner episode 4. Wow.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no, appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. So yeah, I guess the clue is in the name, but just let everyone know who you are and like where you're from, and we just go from there, really.
Yeah, so I'm BlessyVF. I play Mortal Kombat, as you can tell from my name. I'm from North Wales. No, I play Virtua Fighter. I run VF events in Europe and sometimes beyond. And occasionally, twice a year, I play Virtua Fighter offline.
Oh, nice. So yeah, obviously we met very, very briefly at Versus Fighting this year, while obviously I was running around taking photos and whatever else and stuff. So I guess my first question would be like, when did you start playing like fighting games in general first? Like what was your first kind of exposure to them? And then I guess we can kind of get into the obvious from there, really.
So I'm not that old, right? I'm only 27. I ain't that old. But I got 2 older brothers who are, 8 and 6 years older. So I got the hand-me-down console. I got a Mega Drive.
Okay.
Still got in the corner.
Shout out to Sega heads out there.
Yeah, so I got that, and then I eventually ended up getting an N64. I remember getting a copy of, must have been like Mortal Kombat Gold or something. N64. I'm playing it with my brothers. I remember picking Noob Saibot and doing the up down input teleport move.
Oh yes.
My brothers just decided that that was cheating and they wouldn't play with me anymore. So I was pretty young, so I didn't play fighting games for a long time after. I think I probably started trying to be good at them, and emphasis on trying, with Street Fighter 4 Arcade Edition 2012.
Oh, nice.
That was I sucked at Street Fighter, but that was when I first like started playing fighting games.
Yeah. Okay. That it's interesting again because I think like as if some of the old episodes that we've had some of the quote unquote older members of the community as well. Myself included. Like we started like quite a while back, but it's interesting to see where the different contrasts is when people get their start. And so I guess so you started at like playing like arcade edition. Were you at a point where you were trying to play serious? Was it more fun? Did you have like a scene around you at the time, or was it just like?
I was trying to play seriously. There was no scene around me at the time. So for context, I grew up in Mid Wales, in the biggest town in Mid Wales, which is very tiny, a population of like 10,000 people. So there's no scene. The first Street Fighter I actually got to play with my brother. One of my brothers is in university in Brighton. I went down to visit, and there was a think it was like some place called Sticky Mike's Frog Bar or something like that. So I went to a Street Fighter 4 event. I sucked. I think I was playing Guy, and I went like 1 and 2, and I was really proud of going 1 and 2 because this dude actually knew how to play fighting games, and I just kind of cheesed him with the guy's front flip and the grab in midair, just doing over and over again, and he just left after I did that. So I didn't really have much of a scene around me to play. I did try and get decent at it, but ironically, I saw everyone plays on stick, and I'm like, the fuck's an arcade? What the fuck? Stick? So I was like, oh, I understand. And so I dug out my old flight sim controller. I was like, this is what they mean. And learned to throw Hadoukens on a flight sim controller.
Oh, wow.
Which turns out is really, really not optimal to play Street Fighter.
I can imagine it's definitely not optimal.
Yeah, so by the time I worked in a video game store for about 7 years. I started working there when I was 12. And we had must have been Tekken Tag 2's release. And I was told, oh, we've got this promo stuff, we've got these shirts and stuff from like whoever was the distributor at the time. And they were like, oh, we're going to run this in-store tournament. And this is a small independent shop. There's me and my boss that we're the only people who work there. He's like, no one's really signed up though, so you need to go and play. Like while I was at work. Oh, yeah, okay, I'll go do that. I won. I've only entered one Tekken tournament in my life, and I won. So I'm obviously really good at Tekken.
Yeah, naturally.
So that was like as much of a scene as we had where I grew up. Is me beating like 3 random people on Tekken at work.
Nice. So I guess obviously you start playing Tekken and stuff, and where does obviously the clues in the name? Where and how does Virtua Fighter come into this, and what is your kind of first exposure with the Virtua Fighter series? Then I guess.
So I want to just like make clear this: I don't play Tekken. That's the only time I play Tekken. I've like tried playing Tekken 7 since then. Like once. That's it. But in terms of Virtua Fighter, I think weirdly my first exposure was, do you remember those old, if you went to a Morrison's and at the end they had the little cardboard displays which sometimes had games in them, and they had the Exploder ones with the red logo. There was a Virtua Fighter 2 PC copy on the Exploder range, which I basically just kept pissing off my dad till he bought it for me, and played that on my old Pentium dual core, and was like, oh, this sucks. Honestly, that was the response. I was like, damn, people think this is good. People are stupid. So took a break for a long ass time, and then it would have been 2019. I finally like got VF2 on Saturn. And at the time, I was a student. I was living in a shared house like 5 other people. So we set it up in the living room. We just played Virtua Fighter 2. And that was good fun. And then they all realized Alpha 2 existed and didn't want to play Virtua Fighter.
The flashy like colors and pixels and stuff, whatever else. Yeah.
Way shinier. So and then it wasn't until the pandemic started that I was furloughed, and I lived on site at where I worked, which was a hotel in, again, the middle of nowhere. And I was scrolling through and I was like, damn, I gotta try to get good at a new fighting game, because I tried playing Unist and I sucked at it because anime fighters, there's too much going on.
There's a lot.
I'm old and slow. I can't keep up with that. So I was going on the internet and I was like, oh, I found, what's this, VFDC? Okay, let's check it out. And I remember it was Tricky who was streaming VF5, and I was like, shit, people play this still? It's like 10 years old. Okay, guess I'll give this a go. So I booted up my 360, downloaded Final Showdown, and plugged in the old, would have been the old Street Fighter 4T stick.
Oh yeah, the classic. Everyone had one of them. The same T stick. Yeah, everyone had one of them back in the day.
So then, I just started playing from there, really, and it kind of, again, I was furloughed. I had nothing to do with my time, so I played Virtua Fighter for 12 hours a day and drank beer, and it was pretty good. If you ask me, I quite enjoyed it.
Yeah. So that was like your first exposure to like the series in general, I guess.
First proper, So only like, when would it have been? That's like early 2020.
Yeah. And what what was it that drew you to the game then? Obviously you said, it was something that what was it about the system that differed from, say, like the anime games or other games that you played that kind of kept you with it really? Whoops, it is.
So I guess a big part of it is like the cleanliness of the game. Like visually, it's really clean, and I can look at it and I can see what's going on, which I couldn't do with Unis, unfortunately. So I could tell what's going on, but also like my background is martial arts. I did Muay Thai for a long, long time. Past few years, I've done BJJ, lots of grappling, bit of catch wrestling. I love martial arts. So I was like, damn, these characters I could watch, go in Virtua Fighter, and I know that throw. I know exactly what he's doing. I was like, this is sick, because I nothing against other games that have got that sort of fantasy element to it, where people are doing all this mad stuff, and VF still has that. But I like,
it's
I don't know, representations. You know what I mean?
I think in its purest form, it is like representative of the styles of the characters, essentially. And in its purest form. So, no, I respect that.
I sort of moved on from that. I started getting really into it because obviously, hello Brian. Sorry, I can see Brian in the chat. You can ask me about spiders later, bro. So the more I looked into it, it's a very system-based game. And I remember from playing Street Fighter 4, I hated the fact that I had to like remember loads of stuff with this massive roster of characters, which I'm honestly not very good at. But Virtua Fighter is very system-based. I can know very, very little about your character, and as long as I play the system of the game properly and well, I can win. It doesn't matter. Which, to me, I don't know. I like puzzles in that sense, and I felt like a lot of other fighting games to me they were like doing exams, and I hate exams because like I'm not remembering all that stuff. But Virtua Fighter really kind of spoke to me on that level, I guess.
Nice. So because I said I used to play. I think I started in Virtua Fighter 4 PS2, and I think I carried on, and then I think like it's really, obviously I'm sure you've probably heard now of the legendary like training mode in Virtua Fighter 4 Evo, which was actually ridiculous. And I think at that time, like I was still generally kind of playing for fun, but I think because of things like that with Virtua Fighter 4 Evo and the training mode, like that's when I kind of started to take things a bit more seriously. And I just feel like the game, and it's so deep in terms of, well, no, obviously there's probably things change, but the just the weight of the characters affecting certain things, and so much like levels to the game. I think it's a really, really good thing. So I guess I say you start playing and you're picking it up and you're learning and you're enjoying it. And what character do you use actually, first of all, by the way?
So I main Go. I got a few pocket characters. We'll see when the new version comes out. But I play Go. Unfortunately, like trying to go back and play Go in other older games like VF4 Evo, he sucks in VF4 Evo. It's kind of a bit rubbish in Vanilla 5 as well. But no, I really, really enjoy playing Go.
And again, it's more the style of the character, and that you can relate to like the realism of the actual.
So like every character is a grappler in Virtua Fighter, but Go's this really nice mix of like tricky throws. He's got a throw sabaki that's one frame. So if they try and throw you and you hit it on the one frame input, you reverse the throw and you get to throw down. Which don't really see a lot in fighting games. Obviously, you usually get like attack or something like that, but nothing to the degree that you get with Go. I think and he's just very tricky. He's got lots of sabakis, lots of reversals. Anything your opponent's trying to do. Like
the deflects and stuff as well, and things like that.
It's always my turn. Like that. It's like I don't care what you're doing. Like I'm playing solitaire. So
no, I really like. It's definitely. I think when he came out in 4, I was like, that's my character. Because generally, I like grapplers anyway. When fighting games, kind of like hybrid-y type grapplers, not pure grapplers. And like he's definitely like hybrid, and the grabs take a lot of damage from what I remember, and like obviously they're not easy to get out of sometimes. So definitely, no, I like that. I like that. So you're playing, and you're enjoying the game. So then how do you get into the point where at the time when you're playing, do you have a scene that you're playing with? And how are you like learning the game? Is it just okay? I'm just gonna play, and I've got no time on my hands, and that's it, really.
So, well, one of the really key things, and I think probably one of the only reasons I actually really stuck with VF is VFTC exists.
Yeah.
So not only does VFTC, and for those who don't know, VFTC has existed since the late 90s. And it is a forum with a great wiki section, there's character guides written by all the top Japanese players. It's really, really accessible. And I think when I tried picking up something like Unist, I really struggled because I couldn't access that kind of information. But the other key part was, at the time I was playing Virtua, like I started playing, there hadn't been a new game in 9 years. So there were very few people still playing, and those who were still playing were really damn good because like they didn't stick around for that long. So instead of playing against, random people who, like me, weren't very good, I was dropped in with the best of the best. So and for me, like, that's how I like to learn. I don't like to be babied or like kick gloves. Beat the ever living shit out of me, and then like that's how I will get better.
You'll take your lumps and just learn from it. And
so like, I didn't win a game for my first 6 months of playing, but I still played it 12 hours a day. That was like really, really key for me. I think the community in that sense being really like close and tight knit, along with like BFTC being there, made it a lot easier.
Nice. So how from playing, how do you get to the point where you're organizing events and doing tournaments and things? And is that something that you wanted to do, or was it kind of just a byproduct of helping to support the scene of the game that you enjoy playing at the time?
I think for me it was a necessity. So like as I said before, I used to help run a video game store for about 7 years, and one of the things we had to do is we ran like Magic the Gathering events, and so I was I'm used to running events and that kind of thing. So it got to a point I was like, damn, there's no tournament scene. There's not really anything that's been going on. There's still stuff that's going on in North America, but not really much anything in Europe for going on about 6-7 years at that point. So I was like, well, no one else can do it, so I guess I'll do it. That was about as much as the thought process.
Fair enough. And I think that's what it takes sometimes. Someone that has like the kind of will and the passion for the game that they enjoy, and just says, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna do something because I enjoy this game and I want to support it. So shout out to you for that one.
Yeah, I mean, we were running up until Ultimate Showdown released. We were running monthly tournaments on Xbox 360 in 2021, and we'd get, I think, averaged about 12 people. Then the most we got was like 60, which is really good. That was like, for a game that old, and we're running on hardware that's at that point almost 2 generations behind. It was really, really solid, and it was a lot of fun because after we'd finished playing the tournament, we'd be continuing to play like first to 50 sets for ages. Hours finish, so.
See, and that's great to hear, because again, it just shows like the passion that, like, I guess the smaller communities have for their games, which is why they still thrive and stuff. And obviously, like Virtua Fighter, again, I don't want to use smaller game, but in the grander scheme of we have the Tekkens and the Street Fighters and the games that get the spotlight, shall we say? Like, obviously, it's just dedication and shows testament to the guys that we like this game. We're going to play it and we're going to continue playing it, which is great, which is really great. So obviously when did Ultimate Showdown come out, and what was the reaction within the scene when Ultimate Showdown was coming out? Because from what I remember, there was a point, one of the Yakuza games, I know Virtua Fighter was tucked away in one of the Yakuza games, and I think that was probably the best way to play at the time.
So I got one of the people at Sega very kindly gave me a key to that Yakuza game when it was coming out. Nice. And my computer at the time was a potato. I couldn't run the Yakuza game itself, but I could run Virtua Fighter 5 inside it.
Okay, mad.
And it was, it was Virtua Fighter on computer. It was pretty sick. At that point, we were running Parsec servers. So we'd have shadow servers set up. Like, we had one in Europe and we had 2 or 3 in North America. And so I'd play with all the European guys till about 12 at night, 1 in the morning, and then they'd all go to bed. And then all the Americans would jump on. So I'd be playing on a Parsec server on 300 ping with people on the West Coast of the United States. So I could play that way. So when we heard that we were getting a new game, we were like, yeah, okay,
yeah,
good netcode. Can
yeah,
we do this? And 360 netcode was really good. I could play with people in America and not really be a problem.
yeah,
But there was a lot of excitement because there had been nothing for such a long time. But
yeah,
because it was announced like, what was it, like 2 weeks before it came out?
yeah.
Um, there wasn't a lot of time to build that up.
Mm.
And I think whenever there's rumors of a new Virtua Fighter or anything to do with it, a lot of people like appear out of nowhere, and most don't stick around, but we always
Yeah,
get like 4 or 5 for the scene who do stick around. Well, yeah, finally new
yeah,
people to play with.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So there was a lot of excitement in terms of newer players,
Mm.
and it was a little bit surreal, I think, in a lot of
Mm.
ways, because I think I speak for the vast majority of us who are playing in those 360 online tournaments. Is we
Yeah,
play Final Showdown till the end of time,
yeah.
quite happily. Like I
Mm.
in a lot of ways, it's a perfect game. There's a lot of problems with it in terms
Mm.
of things I change, but it's a perfect game. I would happily
Yeah,
play it to the end of time.
yeah. So how I guess obviously, so once Ultimate Showdown is announced and it comes out, what is the initial, I guess, reaction to, like, because obviously there'll be, like, the balance changes and things like that. Obviously, I know graphics wise, it used the Dragon engine, and, update graphics and whatever else. But I guess in terms of the game at its core, in terms of balance changes and stuff, how were they received, like,
Well, there
initially?
wasn't any. That was the big thing about it.
Oh,
So
really? Was there?
No. So Almost Showdown had no balance changes from Final Showdown.
Oh, wow.
In a lot of ways, a lot of people in some way viewed it as a little bit of a downgrade because we lost a lot of the item packs and the
Okay, yeah,
costumes from Final Showdown.
yeah.
There was, some people didn't like the new flash effects on like
Oh,
camera.
yeah, yeah,
They,
yeah,
they, they were very subtle originally, and people, I don't like the flash effects, and
yeah,
I'm not particularly a big fan. But equally, I guess play VF with more people, so I don't really care.
yeah, 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 yeah.
I'll suck it up and deal with
Yeah,
flash
yeah,
effects.
you'll take that for more people to play the game and enjoy the
Yeah,
game.
so I think there was obviously with how like short the time was between the announcement of it and it coming out.
Yeah,
There wasn't time for people to really question balance
yeah,
changes, and a few people did. But when we got it, we're like, oh, it's the same game. We're like, cool,
yeah,
it's the same game. We all love this game, so
yeah,
like that's great. More people will play it,
yeah,
and we definitely picked up like quite a few like really decent people who came
yeah,
through from around that time.
yeah,
But I'd say it was like a really positive reaction for the vast majority of people. A lot of people, a lot of old heads, people like Kingo, came back again out of nowhere, and no one had seen Kingo in like, we've all got our WhatsApp group chats and shit for all
yeah,
the
yeah,
old heads, but like no one had seen these people playing the game in a long time. So that was like a really
yeah,
nice aspect of it.
yeah. I guess it was somewhat of a revival and just like a new
Yeah.
lease of life, I guess, because obviously it being on like an up-to-date console, you don't have to hook up the 360s and stuff anymore and things like that. So, no, nice, 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 nice. So I guess like when, again, in terms of like we're kind of go back to like the TO side of things.
Mm.
Obviously, you said it's something that you needed to do just for your scene and to enjoy. So I guess when do you start getting to the point where okay, you're getting recognized as a TO for this game and you're going to like other events and doing your own things and stuff like that? How does that transition kind of happen?
So it was really weird actually, because we'd been before we even got the announcement for Ultimate Showdown, we've been planning Global Showdown for a while. And for those who don't know, Global Showdown was an event I ran in December last year, where we crowdfunded because there's no money in Virtua Fighter, no one cares about it. So we crowdfunded money to fly out a bunch of Japanese players, all the top Japanese players. So
Oh
we had
wow!
Shiwapon, Ton-chan, Jean, Tetsuko, Homestay Akira, Himajin came over from Canada as well.
Nice.
We flew all these players to play offline VF, but because that's what it turned into. But at the time, we'd already been planning it. I've been speaking to Adam Yuki, who's out on the west coast of the US. I mean, if you watch old Cyber Games videos, Adam Yuki is playing Virtua Fighter in those. He's been around for a while, but it was kind of just an excuse for me to get drunk with all the American players originally. It was meant to be like a party to celebrate VF. But then when Ultimate Showdown got announced and it came out, everyone was like, oh, no, this is proper big tournament. This is showcase of Virtua. I'm like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
I'm here to get drunk. Like, I'm not here to like plan.
Yeah, to actually run a future tournament, and
yeah. So it was. I had to adapt quite quickly to that, and I'm a fairly no nonsense kind of guy. If someone's doing my head in, I'll tell them to piss off. And obviously, as a TO, you've got to have some level of patience.
Yeah, 100%.
But I was pretty good. Like, people keep asking me when's the next Global Showdown, and I'll tell them when you give me 12 grand to run it. I paid for the venue out of my own pocket.
Yeah.
I probably dropped about 3 grand on that event, which had no return.
Yeah. So where it was last year? Where was the actual? Where was it held? Where was
it was Liverpool.
Okay, nice.
So it was a place called Level Tap, which unfortunately isn't there anymore. But yeah, we held it in Liverpool. I remember a couple for the 3 days before. I'm going to Manchester, Liverpool. I'm picking up the Japanese players, getting them back to their hotels, then traveling home to North Wales where I live, and just it's absolutely nuts. I remember, I think it was Razanov who's in the chat now. I remember wandering around Liverpool trying to find Raz, and we've all played online together for years.
Yeah.
Don't know what each other looks like. So I'm just wandering around being like, is this French guy Raz, or is it not? I don't know. So that was good, but the online events kept going. Basically up until I finished my masters, I was running the online events on a monthly basis. Sometimes twice a month. I was commentating a lot of Japanese events, so they'd be restreamed. We'd have like hundreds of people watching these Japanese events, and I'd get a phone call at 3 a.m. being like, "Hey, we need you to come do commentary." And I'm like, "I've got no social life. I got nothing bad to do. Sure, why not?" And then just roll out of bed and go do these commentary sets. So it changed a lot, but it was, I think a perfect storm of me having nothing better to do with my time. And lots of interest from everyone else. So
yeah. So I guess as you say, initially you didn't start out to have like the crowdfunding in the Japanese. Did you initially start out to have? No, you didn't.
No.
How did that spiral into? Let's crowdfund to get X player here, and how did it become a bigger thing than it was initially? What was the spark? Was it because generally Ultimate Showdown was coming out, and then you just thought, or?
It was partly on my show. And so I remember I was in a Discord chat with Adam and a few others, and I was like, "Yo, I want to do this. I want to so we can play VF because we don't have anything like that for VF." And originally the name of Global Showdown was Ultimate Showdown. We changed it before the new game got announced. Thankfully, that would have been a big. I get a nice DMCA notice from Sega.
Exactly. Cease and desist and all that.
So I can't remember exactly what point it was, but I think I messaged Tetsuko. And so for those who don't know, Tetsuko and Homestay are like the VF power couple. Tetsuko organized all the Japanese events. And so I mentioned Tetsuko and was like, what would it take to be able to play, to get some of the Japanese players out to play VF? Because I want to play against them, basically. Ignoring everything else in a purely selfish sense. I want to play VF with the best people at VF. That's what I want to do. So I'll make it happen. And there was lots of back and forth, and thankfully, like Himajin, who is one of the nicest guys ever, he lives in Canada, he's from Japan, so he translated for us for a lot of these conversations. And it basically worked out that they weren't going to pay for their flights. they didn't want to drop thousands of to fly over and play these random people. So they were like, well, if we can work it out, if we can get the money together to make this a thing, we'll do it. And so when I realized we needed to get some funding for it, then I was like, okay, this needs to be a proper event then, because that's the only way we're going to be able to get people out here. So I guess that's what we'll turn it into. And sort of I think that's the point where it sort of went from piss up in Liverpool for Blessy's like fun weekend to this is a legit one.
So once obviously the events happen and stuff, and you've got the crowd. How was it received in regards to obviously the players coming down, and it sounds like you had a mad job. Like I say, you're finding the players and you're doing a lot of work with it. But I should
delegate more.
I think OTO should delegate more, to be honest. I hope you're listening, Justin. That's really cool. So I guess how was the so was it that your first like shall we say, like major offline event that you
Yeah.
ran? And, yeah.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. I should not have been let to do that. I should not have been allowed to do that. It went really well actually. It was really like stress. I know it wasn't stress free. I was very stressed, but nothing bad happened. Everything ran on time and did what it was meant to do, and so it actually went really well. But it was lots of me running around being like, shit, we don't have like an aux cable, and I need to set up these speakers on this casual setup. Yo, Brian, I'll buy you some rum if you go and find me an aux cable. And like we had a game plan. We were going to get all the Japanese players really drunk the night before so we could beat them. And so we got, again, Brian brought down like bottles of Buckfast from Scotland, so we could be like, they never seen anything like this. Absolutely hammered the day before. It didn't work, but it was honestly, it was that for me. That's when VF peaked, was Global Showdown, because we had people fly over from all across Europe. We had people fly over from Poland, France. We had, a bunch of people fly over from Japan. We had people flying over from Canada.
Yeah. Because
I thought it would be really fun to get drunk with some American Virtua Fighter players. So it was a bit surreal in that sense, but it was great. I loved it. I'd do it again. I wouldn't do the 3 years of planning again. And I wouldn't do the crowdfunding again because it was very, very tiring. So if anyone out there wants to give me 12 grand, I'll do it again. But I'm not dropping like 3 grand of my own money on it again. I can't afford to do that anymore.
Oh, that's crazy. I'm glad that obviously went out well, and like shout out to you obviously and everyone else that helped out with going that extra mile in terms of ensuring that the international players had a great time and it was a well-received event. That's really amazing to hear. That is, see, again, the reason why I do these things is because I never knew this, and I'm sure there's people out there that didn't know this as well. So this is great stuff, man. Great stuff. So I guess once you've ran an event like that, running a tournament at Versus Fighting would be a piece of cake, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. So what happened with Versus Fighting was Redline messaged me, and Redline refuses to take any credit for like helping sort events up. Redline is immensely helpful. He messaged me and he was like, "Yo, do you wanna do Virtua Fighter Versus Fighting?" And I'm like, yeah, okay, cool. He speaks to Justin, he organizes everything. I just turn up on the day and make sure things happen. Like that's all I do. But Redline actually does a massive amount of work on that. So it was actually like, it was really chill, but I didn't stay over. So I got a train at like 5 a.m. from where I lived to Birmingham, and then waited outside in the cold for like 3 hours outside Redline's hotel for him to wake up. And I went to the venue, and I've got my backpack with a PlayStation and a monitor in it and an arcade stick. Which is really heavy. I'm sleep deprived. I get that. I'm like, okay, let's do it. Be fine. Let's get it sorted.
Nice. So was this year your first year? Was last year your first year?
No. This year was my first year at Versus Fighting.
Okay.
It was, and you know what? It was immaculate. I mean, I've gone from the stress of running Global Showdown to like everything's great. I remember speaking to Justin, like, Justin, thank you so much for like having everything set up, and just like it's fine. Don't worry about it. I'm like, why is this so organized? Shit. Like I don't have to worry about anything at all. And like I appreciate a lot of people being like, oh, thank you so much for running this. And it's like I literally just turned up and wrote a paper bracket down and shouted at people to like play on consoles. That's what I did. Thank Justin and Redline and everyone else, and obviously Johnster as well for recording.
Shout out Johnster.
Johnster does a massive amount of work for VF as well, and definitely doesn't get enough praise for it. So
no, that's sick. So and that's what I always get, like when, like obviously when I'm speaking to Justin behind the scenes and whatever, and we're sorting out like the games that are going to be at the event, and then he would say, "Oh yeah, we're running Virtua Fighter." I always have like a smile on my face because, like I say, it's one of those games that is very, in my eyes, it's underrated, and I appreciate just the fact that I played 4, EVO 5, and whatever else, and always like doing artwork with Akira, so it's all good. So, but yeah, that's like so. I guess in terms of the tournament this year as well, how did you find the Virtua Fighter tournament as well? First of all, at Versus Fighting in general, like in terms of the running and in terms of the games, in terms of the outcomes and things like that?
So in terms of like the VF tournament was really good. So we had a player called Meaty, who I'm sure is in the chat, who flew it from Germany. And Meaty's a fucking monster. Meaty appeared out of nowhere. Meaty, no offense, Meaty was not on my radar until Versus Fighting. And there's this person on the Discord being like, yo, I'm going to be a Versus Fighting. I'm like, cool.
Yeah.
He's a monster. The only problem I had at Versus Fighting was I didn't realize that I'd been spraying some like matte paint in my office, and it had got onto my arcade stick inside the buttons. And I'd spent like three sets of games going, damn, why are my inputs not going through? Am I just really rusty? Am I just an idiot? And then clocked afterwards, oh no, the inputs just aren't going through. So but like these days I don't tend to play events ITO, because if I'm gonna do that, I'm not gonna focus on playing and be focusing on who I've got to grab for the next match. And I don't want to play like crap, and I want my focus to be on making sure the event is sick for everyone else. So that's one of my major learnings for that. But in terms of the event itself, the event was awesome. I mean, the fact there was trophies and medals, and they're like, what? What do you mean? Like, usually it's whatever tat I buy from Japan and like ship over that's got VF written on it. But I'm a bit of a my place in the FGC feels a bit weird. I don't play other fighting games. I don't follow other fighting games. I don't watch other fighting games. Not because I don't like them. Like I'd love to be good at Tekken, but I'm bad at it. I don't enjoy playing. Virtua Fighter has ruined other fighting games for me because there's a temporary input buffer, and I play other games. And I've got to be precise. Nah, I'm all right. I got to go dinner after this. I ain't learning this. So I never really like put the time to it, but being able to go around, and shouts to like Larko, who was doing like Street Fighter 2 stuff as well. Who I've met at Global Showdown, and so like going and seeing these people playing like all these other games, and oh shit, people are playing like Street Fighter Alpha. Yeah, okay, I know this is sick, and like it was really nice to see like a lot of people come in and look at VF and go, "There's VF," and then like sit around and watch or ask how to play or wanting to get involved. And I'm like, this is cool.
That's amazing. That's great.
But the sense of community at the whole event was just
amazing. Again, why I'm doing this now? Because of the community and because of guys like yourself, actually, that obviously add to what we do and as a whole, to be honest. So that's it. So, and I remember obviously when I came around and I was handing out the medals, and I was like, we've got medals. I think that's a common theme that's been through some of the episodes that I had, that the community, for whatever reason, they didn't expect to have like trophies and medals from. Obviously,
no, we're just a little side event, bro. We just like, people forget we exist. So like the fact that they give us a space to go and play, we're like, thank you so much. Why did you make things for us? Like, don't worry. No, it was really, really nice. I really, really enjoyed that event.
No,
next time
we appreciate you being there in the team. So I think it was maybe a few weeks back now, we had a very and it's a small announcement of an update to Virtua Fighter 5, Virtua Fighter 5 REVO. I guess, what were your thoughts first of all? And
I'm excited. I'm a realist. I've learned that if I expect anything from Sega, I'm playing myself. I expect nothing. I'm genuine. I will always expect nothing until it's in front of me. And then I'll make a judgment. And I say this to like, just because over the years there's always been rooms. Oh, there's gonna be this new VF thing. There's gonna be this new VF thing. Everyone gets disappointed and they leave. And I'm like,
because I think even before the REVO announcement, there was rumors of they're working on a new Virtua Fighter 6, and then REVO got announced, and it was like, okay.
I mean, it's definitely going to shake things up. The fact that there's balance changes for the first time in,
how long?
What will it be now? 13 years?
13 years.
Balance changes to Virtua Fighter 5. That's a big deal. The fact that there's rollback netcode and it's going to be on PC apparently. I'm like, I say this weekend I built a new computer so I could play it.
Nice.
Literally not for anything else. My old computer was 15 years old. I was running my my hand-me-down 950 Ti that I inherit my friend's graphics card when he upgrades his. But I was running an i7 2600K. It was a beast. But no, I built a new PC just for VF because I'm be all over that. So I'm tentatively excited. But if anyone asks me, I'm expecting nothing because I have to keep up my image of doing that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think it's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
I think it'll bring a lot of new people in, hopefully.
100%.
Which is good because the rest of us, we all got jobs now. We're busy, so like someone else needs to come and like get the games going again.
No, I think it's good. Just obviously it being on like Steam, obviously the access that people have on it. Obviously the just the rollback netcode as well, and it just opens up the game. It just opens up the game essentially, and just opens up the scene. And you hope that there'll be new people that come on, and that they will stay as well and continue to play the game. So I guess in terms of how was the reaction in regards to like the forums and like the Discord chats and WhatsApps and things like that? How was the reaction when it got announced then?
So we went from and Jed, who runs the Discord, I don't quite know this, but we had a massive increase in members. Like I'm talking like shit. We don't know what to do with all these people. We need to come up with some sort of way to contain them, so like they're not coming in asking the same questions over and over again. Lots and lots of new people, which is awesome, and lots of excitement from people as well. As I said, we picked up over the last couple of years. We picked up a lot of new people thanks to Ultimate Showdown and events run by like Harpooneer and stuff in the States, and some of the stuff we've done in Europe. So those people were very excited, and then I go and check, the WhatsApp groups with all the old heads, and they're all like, "The fuck do you mean there's a new Virtua Fighter? What do you mean balance changes? They're not just re-releasing it again? Damn, okay, guess we're all playing VF again. We're all coming out of retirement." I mean, some of the OG, like, if I put it into context, Homestead Akira has been playing Akira longer than I've been alive. So like everyone's very, very excited, which as they should be, because it will level the playing field a bit. I think for a lot of people when Ultimate Showdown released, it was difficult to get into because you had this core group of people who've been playing the same game for 10 years. They're all very, very good at it. And they'd come in, and I remember people accusing like some of these players of cheating. Because, like, there's no way you can do that. You must be cheating. It's like, no, we understand the game system well enough that we know how to mess with the frame buffer and how to do weird option selects, which weren't intentional. We know all that tech.
There's just the knowledge gap there, basically.
So I'm hoping that with the sort of balance changes, that's gonna close that gap a little bit. And I think that's actually going to be really important for bringing new people in, especially with some people want to try it from tech, and people always come over from tech and they go, "I backdash and I get hit all the time." Well, it's because you backdash. Don't do that. like that is not the distance you play Virtua Fighter. It's a photo booth kind of game. That's where you want to be. So I think it's quite unique in that way, and I'm just hoping they don't lose some of that uniqueness in favor of attracting different audiences.
Attracting like more casuals, and
if you do that, you lose the flavor of it, and it just becomes another 3D fighter. Not that I think they will. I don't think they're going to do that, but that would be a shame. So I hope it keeps that sort of that core idea. At least I think it will with this, because it's still VF5. But look into the future of a potential VF6, which I can only imagine is somewhere around the corner in the next 2 years.
I guess, as you say, you hope they don't take the route of, obviously there's a lot of like the newer age fighting games nowadays have like certain systems in place.
Like consumers, like they want everything right away. They want this, they want that, and they want guest characters. And I tell everyone, if you're gonna give me a guest character in Virtua Fighter, it's gonna be Shrek or Master Chief, because that's how seriously I take anyone asking me for goddamn guest characters in my game. I get it sells. I don't care. And again, this is me being like horrifically blunt and flippant with people. I don't give a shit if you want guest characters. I really couldn't care less. No, give us, make costumes for them. That's cool. Do the Tekken Yakuza costumes. That's cool. You can't put Go in Tekken. without changing him drastically because he
Yeah,
breaks
yeah,
Tekken. And you can't bring Hayachi into goddamn Virtua Fighter because Hayachi does not do well at Virtua Fighter. that moveset does not stand up to the game system. So I think there's a lot of misunderstanding in that sense of what VF is, because these people haven't had a chance to play VF.
That's the thing.
Like, it's not them being dicks or pains in the ass. They haven't played VF. They don't necessarily understand that it's not a character-based game. It's a very system-based game.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. As I say, like obviously going back to for EVO and stuff, and just learning about the system, and as I say, obviously the weight of the characters, and obviously the open stance and close stance, and there's so much good stuff in the game. Like, you hope they don't kind of, I guess, for want of a better word, dumb down certain systems, because I think we've seen a pattern of that throughout all of like the newer games that come out. There's an element of, we want to appeal to a more casual audience. So, like, for Tekken example, it's the aggressive nature of the game, and we're going to do this and the Eat Smash, and like, you just hope that they don't lose the core identity of the game.
There's a key like memory that sticks out. So when I was playing Homestay at Global Showdown, I remember Redline and Larko being standing directly behind me. I'm playing against him. I know he's got half circular abilities, which for those who don't know, it's like tracking in Tekken. It will cover an evade in one direction, not the other. And he's got moves that cover one direction. He's got another move that does the other. And knowing which way to evade knowing the context of like where I am in relation to the walls and his character, or in relation to the first 3 frames, like the start frames of his move, and knowing which way to evade. And that's not even something I'm like consciously thinking about. That's just so like baked into the game and the knowledge of the game, where like that's such a cool thing to exist there. And I don't think removing it helps new players. New players are going to get blown up anyway. They're new players. It doesn't make a difference. It loses that depth for the people who, like me, had nothing to do for 12 hours a day and just want to play Virtua Fighter.
You don't want to lose that to kind of appease like the masses, so to speak. I guess. And like when they normalize certain things, and like, you can break throws just by pressing forward and punch guard and that now, and stuff like that. You don't want them to lose.
It's less complex than VF or REVO, and less complex than VF5 Vanilla, if I'm being honest. This is Virtua Fighter 5 Final Showdown, or Ultimate Showdown, whatever you want to call it, is the dumbed down version of Virtua Fighter. Like, that's what it is already. And like, it's to the point where stupid people like me can keep up with it. And I'm, looking at my track record of playing other fighting games, I'm not good at fighting games. If I can play it, anyone can play it. So it's fine.
Fair enough. Yeah. So it's planned to come out winter, is it? They mentioned, I think it's winter.
It's coming out in winter. So we don't know what that means, unfortunately. So we can't.
It could be either side of the year.
And given that what they did last time with Ultimate Showdown, where they announced it, released it 2 weeks later, I'm like, please don't do that again. Please give us some sort of window of when things are going to happen. So, but rest assured, the moment that it hits, the moment we get an announcement that it's going to hit, we'll have stuff ready to go. So the past 2 years, I've taken time off from running online events and stuff, because I got a life outside of Virtua Fighter, as much as that may be difficult for everyone to believe. But they'll be restarting, so I'll be running the online events again. I'm hoping to bump up the numbers of offline events we're running. I'm hoping to get it more introduced into locals and that kind of thing. Because where I live now, I live in North Wales. No one here plays fighting games. No one cares. So, but taking the game to locals and making sure people are playing, and just sort of fostering the kind of community aspect, which is hard when it gets bigger compared to when I started, but making sure it's still accessible in that way. So, VFTC will be ready. We'll have all the updated frame data. We'll have character guides written and ready. And, there's people like Juicebox who's already producing really awesome content if people want to learn VF, because, as I said, it's a system-based game. So whatever balance changes they do in this next version of it, it's still going to be system-based. It'll carry over.
Yeah, because I remember VFDC. I used to jump on there from time to time when I was playing back in the day. It's a very good resource for put stuff out there and stuff, man. So I'm looking forward to it, to be honest, and I just hope that, obviously I don't expect like, you know, world tours and things like that because Sega is Sega, but at the same time I hope there is some support for the game, because it's obvious that fighting games are still, you know, big business. They're popular. You know, there's a lot of fighting games out there at the moment that are popular that have there's the backing and support from the developers. So I just hope that on that side of things, like Sega don't drop the ball and they do give incentives to the players in terms of like tournaments and events, or that they support the events that are running the game and stuff as well. So I really hope like it would just help the future of the game, which helps everyone really, to be honest.
I think we'll see that in VF6 when it comes. I think we'll see a limited aspect of that in this one, but because it's, you know, a team of 1.5 people, and one of them is Aoki, the director. I don't expect too much, but I think they've learned from Ultimate Showdown's release, and there was, from what I understood, there was a lot of want for more support in the West. And I think they took that tack. So we got surveys and stuff, and like, what do you need, basically? That was the term. The surveys were like, give us rollback, give us tournament support. Yeah, and they're giving us rollback in the new game. So like, maybe we are going to get that tournament support, which would be really awesome. I might be out of a job. It would be great. Please.
It almost feels like REVO, obviously, because I said earlier, like 6 was rumored, and then like REVO came out. It almost feels like a testing bed for the new one to come out whenever that is ready to come out, really. So I guess before I guess what's next? What's next for BlessyVF then, in regards to events, in regards to anything else, like in terms of any upcoming events or that you're going to be at, or any? Are we going to have another Global Showdown? Or
you got 12 grand? You got 12 grand? I'll do it. Don't bait me like that. Like, if you got the money, I'll do it. But
fair enough.
No. So next up for me, so I'll obviously be at Versus Fighter next year. Fingers crossed, Justin. Please, thank you. I'll be at Drowning Pools. I'll be at, hopefully, EVO France.
Oh yes.
You know, willing that my time lines up with that as I hope it does. Johnstar, I'll take your 50p. Like as I said famously, there's no money in VF. People ask me like, oh, why don't you stream VF still? And it's like, because I don't want to be homeless. I like having food. I like having access to like basic needs, so that's why. So I'll be doing that. You'll find me on like the Discord making fun of people for silly takes. That's my current pastime outside of, like, you know, my very busy life. But yeah, no, I'll be doing quite a few things. I'm hoping we can up the amount of tournaments we run in this next year. Hoping we can do more locals. There'll be more online stuff. If people do want to get in touch, they do want to learn the game, check out the Discord, which DM me. I'll send you a link. I'll be posting about, you know, new online events and that kind of thing. On my Twitter or Blue Sky or whatever it is these days. I'm really antisocial, so like it comes when it comes. It will be there. But that's the current plans for me. Maybe playing VF more than twice a year offline. maybe that'll also be on the table for me. We'll see.
No, we should have best of luck in obviously getting the offline events and things sorted, and I'm sure we'll see you at Versus Fighting next year as well, which as I say has already been announced, August 15th, 17th next year. Save the date, book your hotels, all the rest of it. There'll be more information coming soon enough. I guess so. Before we go, have you got any shout outs or any kind of links that you want to send, like Discord links, Facebook, or
I got loads. Loads.
Carry on, man. The floor is yours.
We got. Let me grab a Discord link. Can I post links in the chat? Is that allowed?
You should be able to.
Let's see. I can. Okay, that's the Discord. That's the Virtua Fighters Discord. Everyone, please go check out. If you're interested in learning the game, or you just want to like chat to people about VF, check out that. Check out VFDC, which I'll drop a link for as well. VFDC is everything you could ever need to learn Virtua Fighter. You could never talk to another person again for the rest of your life, and just look at VFDC, and you could become amazing at Virtua Fighter. It is absolutely perfect. Shout outs to well, Johnster and Redline and Brian, I can see in the chat, and John, all the people who keep things moving that I have somehow become the face of. At this point, I don't really know how it happened, but I'm here. Shout outs to Jed, shout outs to obviously yourself and Justin, everyone at Electronic Dojo for all the work you do. We wouldn't be able to do our fun stuff. You didn't do your fun stuff, so it's pretty good.
Fair point.
Shout outs to Damocles and Ibs for being solid guys. Yeah, that's my shout out reel, I guess. Apologies if I forgot. And shouts to Meaty as well. Meaty's really good, and he's a funny guy. If people, they want to get in touch and ask me VF related questions, Twitter, Discord, doesn't have to be VF related. Ask me about spiders, as Brian said earlier. One of my previous jobs, I was actually a tarantula breeder. That was my official job.
Oh,
wow. People want to ask me about spiders. Ask me about spiders. Go nuts.
Oh man, that's great. That's great. But no, I'd like to thank you for your time this evening. Thank you for coming on. It's been a great conversation. I've definitely learned more about you. And hold on. What's up, Zero? What's up, Zero?
I can see the whisper going to Justin. Like, I ain't never letting this guy on again. This dude.
No. It's been great, man. It's definitely been great, and like I appreciate your time. I appreciate you saying yes first of all, because obviously you didn't have to say yes, but like I appreciate you coming on. Thank you guys. Shout out to everyone that's in the chat that was watching. It's been a great show today. In terms of the next community corner, I'm not quite sure when it's going to be. I might be on a short break next week. If I can squeeze in another one next week before the new year, I will try my best. But yeah, just last announcement, as I said to you guys earlier, it's not there. It's this one. Versus Fighting will be back next year. It's been confirmed. August 15th to 17th. Save the date. And as I say, for now, we've got one more cheap plug. Just going to share the screen quickly. As you can see, I am a children's author illustrator by night and designer. So I have plush toys, I got storybooks, children's books, whatever else. So they are on littlemilobooks.com. I'm sure Johnston knows this link very well. But yeah, littlemilobooks.com. Just go on there, shop. I say I got coloring books, got regular stuff. It's Christmas time, so if you know anyone that might be interested, littlemilobooks.com. Just check out the stuff.
Send me that link, man. I gotta get something from your nephews.
Oh, will do, man. Will do. I'll send it to you. No, I appreciate it, man. I say, yeah. So their plush toys just came out maybe the last 2 weeks now. So I got like 1, 2, I don't know the rest of it, but yeah, it's just like my side thing and stuff, really. But yeah, I will stop sharing that now. But for now, Blessy, thank you so much again. Thanks everyone in the chat that watched today. As I say, might be back next week. I'll let you guys know. I say just keep out an eye out on socials. Shout out Johnson. But for now, I'm gonna head off. Blessy, thank you for your time. Chat, thank you for watching again. We'll be back soon. Keep an eye on our socials, and we'll see you guys soon. Peace out, guys. Don't forget, Versus Fighting has been announced August 15th to 17th next year. More info coming soon. But for now, Blessy, thanks a lot. See you later, guys. We'll be back soon. See you later.
Later.
Let's send that.